and welcome. Welcome to Chilly Moon. Today I'm going to be reading you another story. And as you saw, today's book is called Beauty and the Beast. Not the Disney version, the proper version. This also came out in 1977. I've had this book quite a long while. It's not much older than me, wink wink. So enjoy. There once was a merchant who, because of bad luck and greedy partners, had lost almost all his money. His wife was dead, but he had 3 daughters who had been used to the best part of all their lives. One day, quite suddenly, they were told that their father to pack a few belongings as they were to move to a tiny cottage in the country. They were downgrading. When the girls saw their new downgraded home, the 2 oldest were rather spoiled. They began complaining, saying stuff like, "This is shit. Oh, Dad, this is so embarrassing. I don't want to move into this crap house." They never were. The youngest daughter, however, whose kind heart and ready smile had earned her the name of Beauty, and took her father's hand and said, trying to comfort him, "It may not be very grand, but at least here we may be all together and safe." After almost a year in their new downgraded home, the merchant heard some good news. A ship bringing goods for him to sell was due in the harbour. He finally got his fulfilment from Amazon. He was very pleased. He decided to journey there at once. "I must go and pick up the packages." After all those months with no luxuries, he finally got his fulfillment from Amazon, who had promised him a delivery over a month ago. The eldest daughter asked her father to bring back a fine silk gown. "I'd already ordered you that. It's trimmed with lace." "Oh, lovely," in a colour to match her hair. The second girl wanted a fur bonnet. Don't know why. From the most expensive shop in town. "Oh, I love a good old fur bonnet, me." Laughing, the father promised to do this. "Oh, I'll get you a real nice furry bonnet, don't you worry." "And what will you like, Beauty? What can I bring for you, my sweet, beautiful child?" All she really wanted was her father's safe return home. But in case she made her sisters seem greedy by asking for nothing for herself, Beauty said, "I miss the flowers in our old, spectacular grand garden. Please just bring me one single rose." So father went out to go and get the Amazon delivery. "Good luck, Father." After travelling for 2 days to pick up his Amazon delivery, he arrived at the docks. He was told that the ship had sunk and all the fulfilment from Amazon had been destroyed. All Amazon cargo had been lost at sea. Sadly, he turned for home. He knew he was insured, and he knew that Amazon would cover him and give him a refund for the packages, but he felt bad as he was going to bring nothing back home for his girls. As night fell, it was cold and he was exhausted. He became hopelessly lost in the snowstorm on his mule. His mule stumbled on against the icy wind. He seemed to collapse. It turned lame. Just as the merchant was wondering whether he would ever see his family again, he glimpsed through the swirling snow the glowing lights of a distant, beautiful castle. It was the strangest castle he had ever seen. Falling from his mule, he stumbled up on the steps and found the huge doorknob. Although he was by now rather frightened, Beauty's father was so tired and cold that he really would love a whopper and some fries about now. He stumbled in. He called, "Hello? Hello? Is anyone in here?" as he walked across the great hall, but heard only the moan of the wind. Moan, moan. He was getting very scared. At last, too weak to care, He found a warm bed and he got in it and got all cozy and he fell to sleep. When he awoke early next morning, he couldn't find his own clothes. They just weren't anywhere. But in their place was a velvet suit. All the way from Amazon. He must have got his delivery. Fur-trimmed cloak and beautifully finely stitched leather boots, all of which fitted the astonished merchant perfectly. "Oh, I look spectacular," he said, looking in the mirror. There was a further surprise downstairs, for although dawn had not yet broken, a freshly prepared breakfast awaited him. Oh, Folger's coffee, toast and pineapple jam. Oh, everything I love. Then, all of a sudden, he heard a strange noise. It sounded like some kind of big cat. Having slept and eaten well, the merchant left the strange castle to find his mule and continue his journey. As he crossed the snow-covered garden, he saw a single rose bush in bloom. And remembering Beauty's request, even though he couldn't fulfill his other daughter's requests, he thought to himself, I can't resist. So he plucked one of the flowers, just one rose, and instantly he heard a voice behind him. "Roar! I have not given you enough? Was breakfast and the clothes and my bed not enough? How dare you? Oh, for your greed you must send me the first living thing which greets you on your return home," he bellowed. "Rah!" The merchant ran to his mule and rode as fast as he could until well out of sight of that castle and him. As he travelled, he thought about what a beast's demands were and hoped that maybe one of the more uglier spoiled daughters will be the one that meets him at the door. Miserably, he goes to the front door. "I'm home, children." "Oh, where is my beautiful Rhoda? Yeah, where's my fur bonnet?" "Oh, Father, what happened?" said Beauty. "You look terribly frightened and like you've seen a ghost." "Oh, you were the first one to greet me. I must give you this single rose." "Why, Father, where did this come from?" "A strange castle. And because you've greeted me, I kept a promise to him. You must go to the castle, my dear, now." So Beauty had to travel on the mule, in the cold, all on her own, and very scared, as she did not know what she was going to be greeted by. Reaching in the mysterious castle, Beauty found, as her father had, that everything had been thought of to make her stay, shall we say, as comfortable and as deluxe as possible. She knew this possibly could be a check-in and couldn't check-out situation. Although Beauty often sensed a lonely figure watching her from the shadows, she often wondered who that was. One morning, Beauty came down for her breakfast. It was Folger's, with delicious pineapple and toast and honey. And she stopped on the stairs, terrified by this strange appearance. But he spoke in a gruff, gentle voice. "Please, Beauty, do not be afraid. I shall never harm you." Beauty and the Beast shared one meal every day after that. But although Beauty tried to talk to him, the Beast spoke very little, and he kept his face turned away. After a few weeks, Beauty found herself looking forward to their meetings and to the rose he remembered to leave for her each and every day. That's lovely. Many months passed, and Beauty grew to know the huge castle and its lovely gardens. Early one misty morning, in her favourite part of the garden, she was surprised to see that Beast was shuffling towards her. He knelt at her feet and asked her quietly in his rough voice, "Beauty, are you fond of me?" "Of course, dear kind Beast," she replied. "Beauty, will you marry me?" he whispered. Beauty was shocked by the sudden question, but didn't wish to hurt the gentle creature. "No," she replied, "I couldn't marry you, but I hope we may still be friends," with a smile on her face. The Beast said nothing. His great head hung very low on his chest, and he wandered slowly away like a wounded creature. The next day, in a magic mirror on her bedroom wall, Beauty saw her father, grey and thin, calling to her from his sickbed. She was horrified to see how old and worried he looked. If only she could talk to him, tell him she was safe and well. At dinner that evening, Beauty begged the Beast to allow her to make a phone call, at least some quick FaceTime so she could see him. The Beast sadly agreed, but gave Beauty a magic ring, which was even better technology, which she could signal her readiness to return to the castle. Excellent. Beauty awoke next morning to find herself outside her father's cottage. "Father!" He said, "Oh, Beauty!" The old man was overjoyed to see her again and immediately began to feel better. Even Beauty's sisters seemed glad she was safely home, and they all listened in amazement to her stories of the Beast and his beautiful, extravagant castle. Beauty quickly settled down with her family again. Her father's health improved every day, and that his dearest daughter was home. The weeks passed, and Beauty forgot her promise to the Beast. Naughty, naughty. Alone once more, the sad Beast wandered through his gardens at night, howling for Beauty. With each day that passed, he grew more unhappy. He could neither eat nor sleep. One evening, as Beauty prepared supper for her father and sisters, she felt the chill light of the moon through the cottage window. The magic ring which the Beast had given her seemed to flash urgently. "Incoming, incoming, you must come back to the castle now!" Suddenly Beauty remembered her promise and realized she had left her kind friend to die. "Oh, my ring! Bing! It's glowing! I have to go. I just got another notification from Beast." Horrified at her own heartlessness, Beauty rushed to her waiting horse and returned to the castle. She ran from room to room, searching and calling without success. At last she found the Beast laying under a tree. His eyes were closed and his great paws cold and still. "Beauty, Beauty, you have come back," he whispered, turning his head away as if to hide. "Please don't look at me. I'm so ugly." Beauty was heartbroken. "I'm so sorry, Beast, that I forgot. You know how life is. I just got so engrossed with my father and sisters," she cried, taking a paw to warm it in her small hands. "Dear, wonderful Beast, please don't die. I love you." And her tears fell onto his rough fur. When Beauty next opened her tear-filled eyes, she couldn't believe what she saw. Gone were the claws and fur of the Beast, and instead her hands held those of a young man. My goodness. Smiling lovingly, he explained that a wicked fairy, all those wicked fairies, had long ago used her evil magic to change him from a royal prince into a beast. It was a classic scenario, but she didn't know. The spell could only be broken if a kind and honest girl came freely to love him as Beauty had. The very next week, Beauty and her prince were married, of course. Her father and sisters came to live in their strange castle, which they actually thought it was beautiful and extravagant, and they all, believe it or not, did live happily ever after. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tale. There are many others by these people that made this book. This is Award-Winning Publications Limited, 1977, and other titles in this series include Jack and the Beanstalk, Hansel and Gretel, The Pied Piper, and of course Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, and another cult classic, Rip Van Winkle. I bet you can't wait for that one. So I hope you enjoyed this story time with me, Chilli Moon, and have a wonderful good night.